Oh, Barry, device not connected. Good evening, folks. How are we doing? If you can see us and hear us, drop us a comment so that we know we're not alone. And I can see that Barry's trying to join us just now, but I think he's having problems. Devices are not connected. I don't think there's anything I can do to help him there from this end, unfortunately. We'll see if he gets that sorted, and he'll be joining us too. I can see that there's 2 people on viewing us, but I'm not seeing any comments as yet. So, there's Lawrence. So I've just managed to switch comments off. So.
When I watch NASA Spaceflight, when they're doing the live streams, I was asked for 5x5s in the stream when you can hear us. So I don't know why it's 5x5, but you put 5x5 in the stream.
All right. Okay. You need to work out what that's all about then.
No, I don't know. You just go 5x5 and we can hear. They know that they can be heard.
Yeah. Well, we'll give it a few minutes because obviously there's been big developments in that area over the last few weeks. We'll get your take on that, and we'll obviously go over what we've been up to, what we're going to be up to over the next couple of months, and there's a new Nessie hunt as well. Yeah, they're going to new hunt for Nessie as well. And I actually noticed I haven't posted it yet actually because it's behind a paywall, but I'm going to see if we find another article. There's an author released a new book on Isabel Gowdy as well. But as I said, it's behind a paywall, so I'm going to see if I can find an article elsewhere that I can post so everybody can see it. Yeah, it's Barry there just now.
Oh, excuse me. Long day.
Yeah, so that's it. So I hope everybody's doing well. I think we'll just kick things off. So I suppose let's start with the big news because Castle Fraser, Lynn, you lined that one up.
Delivered. Well, not quite completely delivered. We've not done it yet. But all the contracts have been signed, and it's go, and we are sold out.
Yeah, sold out, and it is a very reportedly haunted castle.
I've got my notes here somewhere. I think I can go through a few of them.
So yeah, and a lot of stories. Most haunted have been there as well. But it's a castle where they actually promote the hauntings as well, don't they?
There's been a lot of investigations there. Where's my notebook with my notes?
Yeah, well done, James.
Right, I'll just take it from memory. I'll put my notebook some way. There's been a lot of investigations there. Apparently, there was a Dutch company Nederland filmed there. There's the guy, the presenter, main guy, supposed to stay the night, but didn't last the night. Alice that showed me around and pointed I tell them about other rooms. There was a group investigating, and some of the staff will accompany the groups around the room because it's a very higgledy-piggledy castle. It's very easily to get disorientated. So she had shown a group into this room, and it was just hiding them behind the door, but out of the way behind the door. Something happened. The group stampeded out the room, and she got crushed behind the door. So she's learned not to stand behind the doors. I've promised her that our group will not run, but I kind of guarantee for any guests that might go out, but we will not run if something happens. Yeah, so, oh gosh, she said, don't miss the kitchen out. It's kind. The entrance hall and the kitchen is kind of the two things on the ground floor. We'll be in the cafe and we'll go through to the ground floor. So she said that there's a lot. Staff reported coming in the morning, the stools being turned over, and it's often missed out. There's the entrance hall. I think I can't remember from my notes unless I get my notes. What happens in there? There's the great hall. Can't remember offhand. Not much happens in there, but most, she said, about 90% of the furniture is original to Castle Fraser, unlike Durn, which was derelict and had to be remodelled. However, beautifully, is everything's imported and kind of thing, and so yeah, Castle Fraser will hopefully maybe pick up on some of that. There's the Victorian governess room and a Victorian sitting room off the library. There's also stuff happens in the library. I think the library sits above the Great Hall. So my daughter's an actor, so she is going to come and dress up as a Victorian governess, and will act out some teaching for children. So she will be a live trigger object for the night. So that's going to be very, very interesting, because sometimes trigger objects are really provocative and getting activity going. I'm really looking forward to doing that. So yeah, in the governess room, in the Victorian sitting room, you can be touched sort of in the legs, like a child's height kind of thing, poked, get tension, hands grabbed. There's the pink bedroom. I think it's a pink or the green. There's different colours of bedrooms. And there's a cradle in there, in that room as well. And there's a lot of activity reported in that room. Cat balls, not only going off, but getting knocked off the bed. So yeah, and somebody's seen it's in like a tower room, so the recessed windows really deep. So somebody's seen in the window, in the chair in the window as well. What's the other one? There's another bedroom. It's kind of a red colour, it's a north bedroom, I think. And the lights flicker. There's actually a clip on YouTube. If you go on Castle Fraser, there's somebody's taken a little video. The lights flicker in there, and they've had the electrician in so many times to test that wiring. They can't explain why. They didn't do it all the time. They just do it periodically. But obviously somebody's been going around the castle and the lights been flickering. They've whipped out their phone and taken a video of the lights on the mantelpiece flickering. But they've been tested and they can't find anything wrong with them. And that's said to be the most haunted bedroom. Up the tower room, there's a display of the last Laird Fraser, his World War II stuff. And they didn't lock the cabinets, and they were getting activity in that room. And one day, all of a sudden, there was never anything reported, but there was things getting knocked over and activity reported. And they went putting things back, and they noticed it was either a medal or a badge had gone missing out to the cupboard. There's glass cupboards with these things on it, and they'd found it in another room. So they're speculating that somebody maybe have gone into the cupboard, taken it, and then I'm not sure about taking it and put it down somewhere else. And once it was returned, there was no more activity in there. So that'll be interesting as well. So we can connect with him if he's got connections to his possessions for World War II up there. So yeah, a long, long history. It's apparently the source of the Outlander story, the Fraser. I've never watched it. never got into it. So Nick, I don't know what I'm speaking about, but
The
I was,
clown blazer.
yeah, the guy was in the shop was telling me about it because they did some Outlander stuff in the shop, and I said we're going to be doing an investigation here, and he said, "Oh, the Outlander, that's the story is based on that phrase." And I said, "Okay, I'll take your word for it because I've not watched it." So it's going to be good. Half of the stuff that happens, I'm going to do laminates and put them out in every room, so we know what kind of look out for or shout out for. So if I've been told happens, it's going to be a good night.
Yeah, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Really looking forward, and hope I don't get lost because it's massive.
Yes, and it's really well. There will be two staff, and they'll switch a bit the groups, but we've got our walkie talkies. You should ask if we've got them, and just to shout. And because I was thinking we would start on one floor and swap round, but it's so up and down, because it's a tower house, the original tower house from the 14th century, and then there's the two kind of turrets at opposite ends added on, so it becomes a Z plan for defensive reasons. And then we're going to be in the two big wings apart from the cafe, but so it's kind of higgledy-piggledy's been added to over the years. So yeah, very, very cool.
Yeah, really, really looking forward to it, and really excited for the guests as well, because I think it is going to be a really, really good night. We can't promise anything, but
no.
If reputation is anything to go by, this place is jumping. So hopefully it'll be jumping for us on the night. So yeah, really, really looking forward to it. Just say a big hello, few new folk on tonight and a few regulars. So evening, James. Congratulations for making it on time. Scott from Paranormal Histories also, and we'll be talking a little bit more about that later because we're actually due to investigate with Scott at the weekend. Catriona's on from Oban. Audrey is on from France. Lynette from Tain. So hi guys, thanks for joining. We've just been sort of discussing about Castle Fraser, which is a big event and an important event for us because it's actually the first ever fundraising event for the team. So we made a decision sort of at probably the start of this year that we seriously, if we wanted to continue operating and going to such great locations as a non-profit organisation, we had to come up with some way of financing things going forward or helping out with the finance. And Castle Fraser will let us do that. So that's good from that point of view as well. And Ghost Walks as well. Going forward, there's a little charge in them, but again, that's just so that we've got a bit of money coming in for equipment, for travel, for accommodation, because as I said, it is expensive. I mean, we said already that the trip we did north earlier in the year cost us at least £600. So it is expensive as a non-profit group to do that kind of thing. Obviously, we're still 100% free from a private investigation point of view, and we're 100% free to charities and community groups and things like that for doing things. So we are non-profit still. That's what we're really shouting about here.
Yeah,
and we are here to help.
It was that or ask a charity for some money, but we decided that was not fair for charities to bear that cost. So that's why we decided to go this route, and the money will be put in a pot and it'll just be divvied out, and so to cover some petrol. It will not cover all our expenses, but it'll just help.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. And Mary's joined us now as well. Even Mary made it. I'll be talking to Mary later in the month here as well. Mary's a member of the Friends of the Old High Church group who are trying to save that church just now. So on the 17th of August, I'll be talking to Mary and Jean from the group about what they're trying to do to save the church. For those of you not kind of in the Inverness area, haven't seen their posts, it is actually the oldest building in Inverness. If we talk about the tower it dates back to even before the time of Albert House in Inverness. The site itself dates back to 565 AD. It was a site of executions after the Battle of Culloden. It's a very, very important site, and unfortunately last year the church closed. Church of Scotland have put it up for sale. It's a listed building inside and out, and so far, there really hasn't been, with the exception of the Friends group who are trying to raise the funds to buy it, no real major interest in saving this building. And it is a real shame that the organisations that are entrusted with saving Scottish history have been very silent on this, which is a shame. But that, well, as I said, we'll have more of that on the 17th. There is a GoFundMe page. We'll post that up again in the next couple of days. And it is, if everybody in Inverness put in £1, they would meet the target, no problem. So it's not a major thing, and once they have got it, there is grants and things that can come into play, and it will be there for the use of the community and that, and they've got some exciting stuff. But more of that on the 17th. Evening to Christina as well. Okay, I suppose linking in with the old High Church, because it was the location of the first sighting of the Loch Ness Monster back in 565 AD, if you're to believe the Christian scrolls or whatever they're called. They're doing a new Nessie hunt. So they're going to be doing the first big surface Nessie hunt in over 50 years. And they're going to use thermal drones and hydrophone, which has never been used on the loch before. And I think they're looking for members of the public to get involved in that as well. So that will be really interesting, because there's been quite a few Nessie sightings this year. They've been popping up on a regular basis. And certainly when we were when Rick McCallum was here, we took Rick out to Doors, and we saw the three bumps in the loch, these three black humps coming up in the loch, and I thought, it's got to be a seals or otters or something like that. And these three kept bobbing up. And then eventually the three began to come towards the shoreline, and three divers walked out of the loch. So maybe that's Nessie. Maybe it's some Scottish tourist board trip, and it's three blokes in diving suits that are actually in the loch pretending to be Nessie. I don't know, but yeah, that's that one's coming up, so that'll be good, and that's linked into the exhibition centre, which is just reopened after a major refurb as well. So it'll be exciting to see if they pick anything up. A lot of these scans have picked strange things up in the past, so we'll wait and see. We'd love to know as well in the comments if you believe in Nessie or not. So. Yeah. Okay. Christina, we'll post all our meetings up on Facebook. So we always put them on here. They'll always be here. And we do virtual ones, and we also do face-to-face ones, normally at Touchwood House. So we haven't got a date yet, but I'm hoping to do one in September. September's quite a busy month for us. We've got quite a few things on there, but we do hope to do a face-to-face one in September. And then we're actually going to be doing our first out of Inverness one in November in Helmsdale as well. I'll tell you a bit more about that one but later. But we post all our events on the Facebook page, so that there's an event. If you look at the events in the Facebook page, all our meets are there. Hello. Got a hello back there. Kathy's going to be there next month at Loch Ness and looking well. Be sure, Kathy, to let us know if you see her, if she's there. Christina says believes in Nessie. Yeah, there's something in the loch. There's no question about that. I think it's a very mysterious place. Mary says there's definitely something for sure. Yeah. I think they did have a theory last time. It was giant eels. That seems to be the latest theory. But yeah, a lot of sightings this year. It seems to be more this year. Maybe I've noticed more. There's been at least 4 or 5 sightings this year. So, you know, she's been popping up on a more regular basis. Definitely. Yeah, forecast. This is a lovely place. Really, definitely. And yeah, be sure to let us know if you see him. Yeah. Ah, that's nice. And Sanowan says, "I believe in Nessie. He lives in my heart." That's lovely. Yeah, yeah. And I've met many folk who've said they've seen something in the loch. And some of them are not people that would regularly make things up. So yeah, I think there's definitely something there. Um, we've got to believe. We've got to believe. So yeah, so that's Nessie. So that's going to be really interesting to see where that one goes. And then Lynn, you're big into UFOs, as we know. Alex has done some talks in the past on here, but there's been some big news about our little green men.
Don't call them little green men. We've got to stop doing this. It's serious. We've come
Yes, Jules?
to disclosure. Yeah, 26th of July. Well, David Grosh, I think that's how you pronounce it, came to Ross Coulthard, who's a journalist, and Australia has done many programs on we will now call them UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomenon. We need to get away from the disinformation and the slurs and on the UFO subject. Yeah. Oh, as a UFO, and I believe in them. That's little green men and everything like that. So they're now UAPs. That's unidentified aerial phenomenon. And so David Gross had been in contact with Ross Coulthard. He does a very good podcast with. It's You Need to Know, it's called, and it's with a guy in America who produced Dark Skies, which is a good program back in the 90s, I want to say, about extraterrestrial contact. Isabel, somebody's Isabel. Oh, I'm getting old. I can't remember everything these days. So Ross Coulthard went on camera to kind of forget, it's a YouTube channel. I'll post it in the links afterwards anyway. And he came out to that. Now that was just a few weeks ago, and now he's been in Congress at a hearing. He is a former US intelligence official. He's gone on record. He's sworn affidavits. When you go in these meetings, the Senate meetings that's investigative in nature. Gosh, I did cats. I was wanting to come on camera. Get your butt out the camera. So if he lies in one of these Senate hearings or Congress hearings, he can be jailed. And jail in America is for a long time. It's not like over here. So it's a serious thing. So he went, so 26th of July, so him and Commander David Fravor, he has been on before. He was the Tic Tac aerial phenomenon that was all over the news last year, that the CIA came out and said that is official footage, it's not enhanced, it's not doctored, it's official USAF footage. He's as close to the real Tom Cruise as you can get. To use Top Gun, leader of the squadron, anything like that. So yeah, him and David Grosh, and there was another witness, were swearing their statements in front of the senators and congressmen. So yeah, it was a serious thing. So David Grosh He's a former US intelligence official. And he told the panel that he's absolutely certain that the federal government is in possession of UAPs, citing interviews he said he conducted with 40 witnesses over a 4-year period. So the former US intelligence official said that he led Defense Department efforts to analyze reported UAP sightings and was informed of a multi-decade Pentagon program that endeavoured to collect and reconstruct crashed UAPs. So there's 5 kind of major things that's come out of this thing, this hearing that he's sworn to Congress and the senators. So that non-human biologics were found at a crash site. Non-human biologics. So Grush, who understood that he was not personally spotted, he's not personally spotted a UAP, told the panel that he knows of multiple colleagues who were injured by UAPs. He also said he has interviewed individuals who have recovered non-human biologic from crashed UAPs. Grush said he prefers to use this term non-human rather than alien or extraterrestrial because he doesn't know where they came from, but they're obviously not human. And he was asked by a certain member of the Congress to substantiate the crashed UAP claim. The former intelligence official said he could not divulge specific details. He is he's bound by the the equivalent of the Official Secrets Act in America. So he can't show proof. He can't show photos, videos, things like that, but he can see what he has seen and heard. And because he's a long-standing intelligence officer, I would say he's got good weight behind him telling the truth, basically. This is could not divulge specific details, once again claiming the information was too sensitive to share with the public. It always brings me to mind the saying that Maggie Thatcher said, you can't tell the people. Yeah, it's been going on for a long time, because that goes back to that blinking play, the Oscar.
That obviously.
That mass panic thing that happened in New York.
Christina's saying here, she's saying, I think that if we were in danger, though, they would have done something by now. I feel about us, afraid that we will panic. And she's actually also saying she's seen.
Yeah, I've seen one.
And I mean, I remember as a child seeing an orange disc in the sky, and I have no explanation for it. Vividly, I can still remember seeing it.
No. If there were at the Independence Day type aliens and came to wipe us out, we would be gone long ago. I'd like to think that it's like Star Trek. We grow out of every civilization will grow out of its infancy and become less warlike and more towards improving and reaching out and improving our lives, and for everyone just need getting into wars and things and to grab resources and things. So I think we will eventually grow out of this phase.
Hopefully. I'm not sure that'll happen in our lifetime, but fingers crossed. Mary's saying, I think they come
we're close. I think this is one thing that could unite us all.
Yeah.
It was Ronald Reagan in a speech to so it was in Europe or the UN. It was a big speech on AI. And he said there was the one thing that would unite us all if something from out there came down here. And it was I wonder if it was enough the cuff thing, because I reckon that he would have gotten past the assessors at the time, and he knew a lot more than he said. But it's a famous speech. You can Google it. Ronald Reagan, his speech about aliens.
Mary's saying, I think they come seeking contact, but look at our world leaders and say, I thought it was intelligent life form. We were wrong. Yeah, not far out. Christina saying thank you so much for letting this be a safe space. I was so worried about being judged. Thank you for allowing me to speak freely. Of course, everybody's, allowed to speak freely here. We've all got beliefs and interests in various things, and that's what makes the whole paranormal world so fascinating.
Yeah. Look at my notes. He answered a lot of questions that we've got craft. There was I can't remember, it was a senator, congressman, did a line of questioning about how have people been basically silenced and threatened and things like that to keep quiet, and he answered yes to some of them, and she said that some people being killed, and he said, I cannot tell you that would have to be in a skiff. A skiff would be a room that is protected from electronic eavesdropping and totally secure. So in the
So that's a yes. That's a yes then.
Yes,
That's a yes.
You've just answered it, kind of thing. If you can't tell us on camera, then saying you can tell them in a secret room, and there was a few questions like that. So yeah, well, the non it's amazing. It's not got more airtime. I think all the major newspapers and the BBC's got a bit on its website, and they covered it briefly, kind of thing. But is that a sign that we know that the government is going on?
I think it's more probably, to be honest, if I'm being cynical about it, I think it's more likely to be a sign of the government's controlling our media, not wanting mass hysteria.
I didn't think there's been so many polls, and the numbers keep rising, that I've asked, do you believe that we have had contact, and the numbers just keep going up and up and up. It always reminds me back to that movie Paul, and there's the flashback when he crash lands and he's in with Spielberg, and to get us used to that kind of image and the films and things like that, just is getting it into our culture. There's a good Star Trek episode, The Next Generation, that covers that kind of thing, that they come down and just, when in Star Trek, non-interference is a prime directive. So the Federation doesn't interfere in a culture that is not spacefaring, is not just about good, beyond its solar system as well. Because it's easier to make contact and tell them, oh, hello, you're not alone, before you actually go out there and find out you're not alone. And so kind of we are at the very verge of going back to the moon. Artemis will be going up next year with a manned rocket round the moon. The whole Starship thing with Elon, second one, the second test is about to go up probably next month, 6 weeks, 2 months at tops, I think. Starship is the carrier of whatever needs to go up there, and will transfer the astronauts down to the moon surface. So we're going back to the moon, and we are staying this time, and that's a stepping stone to Mars. So we are in this very edge, going out into our solar system for real, with probes on Mars, but we've only got people on Mars. And I think we're going to find out a lot in the next decade, 2 decades. So I think this just is the process of disclosure.
Kathy mentions Project Bluebeam.
Oh, I've not heard that. Blue Book. Blue Book was in the 60s and 70s. It was a good show. Fit Channel was it on a few years ago. Only got 2 seasons, got cancelled. Project Blue Book with Professor Hynek, and who was actually in real life a professor in the RAF at USAF. Got him on board, tried to debunk the UFO sightings in the 50s and 60s. Well, that's where the swamp gas and the Venus and balloons and things like that comes with. And he was actually a consultant on the Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I think he got a walk-on part as well. So yeah.
Well, Mary, funnily enough, that leads to Mary saying I still love the ET storyline, also Close Encounters. Yeah.
What is it? Was it Ronald Reagan as well that said something about that? Was it ET or Close Encounters to somebody? And he says, it's closer than you think.
Yeah. So it's exciting times, and obviously there's going to be more developments over the next couple of months on this.
Yeah, then there's
somebody at his level to come out and basically put his neck on the block. He obviously has strong beliefs that people should know about this, and it clearly has. These things have clearly been happening.
I can't remember if you've gotten permission to speak as well. Part of my thinks is this controlled disclosure as well. Has he gotten permission to go out there and start this process as well?
Yeah.
Because and the CIA saying that footage with the TikTok is genuine as well. So it's just drip, 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 and it's getting closer.
The internet's helped. I think the internet's helped across the board, because I think now people can make up their own minds. They can decide what they want to believe, what they want to watch. It's no longer being spoon-fed by the mainstream media. You can, and okay, yes, there's a lot of rubbish on the internet. There's a lot of fake news, for want of a better term. But and you have to pick your way through it. But at least now you've got basically complete control at the moment as to what you can and can't view, and make your own mind up on things. And there is so many amazing YouTube channels and podcasts and just general pages that are posting stuff around all kinds of paranormal, for instance, and not just paranormal, but obviously paranormal in this case. Activities that are going on. Unfortunately, we don't. While we've kind of we're making giant leaps almost in that area, in the haunting side of it. I must say, personally, what I see mostly on pages is, for want of a better term, garbage. I hate to be kind of almost snobby and snooty about it, but the things people are passing off as ghosts is just a bit daft. I could probably moan and bemoan for at least half an hour on that sort of. But
AI coming in now, we've got to be.
Oh yeah, I've seen some cracking AI ones already. Mark Wallbank in New Zealand, Haunted Auckland, Paranormal New Zealand, actually posted some today with Bigfoot.
I've never watched it yet.
Well, yeah, and ones with ghosts. And okay, yeah, you can clearly tell that in this case it's AI. But then there was one the other with Da Vinci and the Mona Lisa. A selfie in front of the painting, and it looked absolutely,
folk that will believe it as well.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, though, it does. AI now actually opens up this whole new area of fakery, from both the alien side of things and the ghost side of things. I know you covered it before, but I think Mary must have maybe missed you saying that. She wanted to know why was the name changed from UFO to UAP.
That's because of the whole government thing, wanting to make us a laughing stock kind of thing. It's like, oh, you saw a UFO, and all that connotations with UFO. And it's been associated. It was an unidentified flying object since the Roswell crash in 1947. And the government just poked fun at everybody, and so it's just got associated with that oh, you're a bit strange if you've seen something. So they changed it 2 years ago to UAP, so unidentified aerial phenomenon. So it just gets rid of that connotations, a little green men from Mars kind of thing. Back in the 50s, we thought Mars was inhabited. That was not that long ago. So that's where the Little Green Men from Mars comes from. I remember sitting up watching all that late night B movies for Invasion from Mars or whatever, made in the 50s, in the 70s. So yeah, it's just to get away from that and just change that. It's like a street getting a bad name, getting renamed kind of thing, to get rid of that connotation.
Yeah, I mean, Mary's saying there, actually, those who believe in UAPs, the Yeti, Bigfoot, Nessie, ghosts, etc., are no longer thought of as weird or as weird as they were. There's so much more info now, and like-minded folk can speak online. That is certainly the case, I think, across the board. I've noticed even in the time I've been doing this, I'm sure you have, Lynn, that attitudes have changed greatly. There's not so much kind of giggling and laughing and finger pointing, that there used to be when you spoke to people about it. And as I've said before, I know there's a lot of folk who still might be uncomfortable in a group scenario talking about something and may poo-poo ghosts and that, but they'll then pull me aside when they got me on their own and go, I've got to tell you what happened to me. So yeah, I think it is. And I think, there's so many wonderful groups, wonderful Facebook pages, YouTube channels, etc., that we can all kind of get involved in. And I think as Christina was saying earlier, it should be a welcoming, place. And I mean, we took part in the Proud to Be Paranormal Day that Barry Frankish, founder of BRF Paranormal, put together. And that was around, there was quite a bit of bullying going on in the not just in paranormal, but it was, bullying is not acceptable in any walk of life, which it isn't. And, that was a good day for paranormal teams to kind of stand up and be united. And let's be honest, we talk about para unity, and there is a lot of good groups out there collaborating, but there's also a lot of groups and individuals who are not, and who have their own agendas, unfortunately, which is a real shame. But I think we've always tried to be here to be kind of welcoming for like-minded friends. We've actually got our friends group as well. So along with the main page, folk in the Inverness area, or anyone that comes along to our events can then join our actual friends group, and we do well-being walks as part of that. So we've done Tomahurich Cemetery, Culloden Battlefield. We're going to be doing Merkinch Nature Reserve in a few weeks' time as well, and that's got the Witch's Coffin Pool. It's got Johnny the Cars. We'll go up to for those that are fit enough, we'll go up to the Clachnahary Battle Monument. So it's about getting out. It's not really about, we're not investigating, it's just like-minded folk talking about the area, their tales and their stories, and a chance for people to kind of meet and socialise and get a bit of fitness as well, because I certainly need it. Yeah, it's good to do that as well. So we'll do more of that, definitely. Yeah, as I said, we're out on Saturday with Scott from Paranormal History. So we've been on his channel a couple of times now. Scott runs a really good channel. They've got a Facebook page you can join. We've put up links before, and we will again, but it's Paranormal in History. And they have guests most nights. I know that they're about to actually have a little break from doing the online stuff, so they can actually get more into the investigating for a bit and their other projects. But they've got some very interesting guests across the whole spectrum, which is really good. Catherine's joined us this evening. Catherine, hope you're well. So yeah, lots happening there. Before I forget, I did have a what's in the bag challenge. If you want me to do it tonight, let me know, folks, and I'll do it. But as I said, we've got some other stuff coming up as well. So we've got on the 26th, the team will be doing a private one, an abandoned farmhouse that we've been to before. So that one was really interesting, wasn't it, Lynn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Picked up some figures there, so yeah. Not all the time, but some of the time. Yeah.
Really interesting. And what was picked up by Lindsay was verified by the client. She was absolutely spot on. And as I said, we're really looking forward to going back there and investigating that one again. And then on the 9th of September, we've got Mark coming over from New Zealand, so we'll be out with him at a location. Castle Fraser we've already spoken about. For those that didn't manage to get tickets for Castle Fraser, maybe more for those over on the west, we're at Inverary Jail on the 21st of October. Lynn's not, I am. Um, and Inverary was brilliant last year. I can't wait to go back again this year.
Unfortunately, I'm gonna be way abroad. So yeah,
it'll be warmer than us. You can guarantee that.
Oh, I'll be in Inverary.
So yeah, Inverary Jail. It's going to be a good one. So again, that's on our events page. I know it's a bit of a trek if you're over on this side, but it's an amazing location, regarded as one of the most haunted locations in Scotland. And we got some good stuff last time when we were there. So looking forward to
there's some nice accommodation in Inverary as well. So
yeah, wonderful little town. So well worth a visit. And then on the 28th, we're back to Durn House in Portsoy. So that's a paranormal evening with you get a meal, you get the history, and you get to ghost hunt with us at that one as well. And then on the 4th of November, we're going to do a kind of open meet kind of thing at Othen House in Helmsdale, which is just about to open. So we've been asked to go up and do a little mini event up there. If that's successful, there will be something much bigger arriving in Helmsdale next year. But it's early days. I'm not going to say any more. I'm just going to tease at the moment on that one. But yeah, we're plotting to see how that one goes. Yeah, and Nicholas saying, looking forward to seeing you at the barracks again. Yeah, we're looking forward to coming back to the barracks. It's been a long time since we've been to Rutland Barracks. So, and we've got now a member in the team who is a direct descendant of Clooney McPherson, the great Jacobite leader of that area at the 45. So it will be really interesting to see what we pick up there, because Nicola's picked up stuff on her investigations there that suggests that there's a gentleman there that doesn't like us Scots. He's not a fan of the Jacobites at all. So it'll be interesting to see what we pick up when we go back there. Yeah, Catriona's saying she's looking forward to it. Yeah, that'll be Inverary. I think Catriona's in Oban. So yeah, you will love it. It's really good. Yeah, Ruthven, Mary, we might do Ruthven again at some point as a public one. It's difficult. It's not the biggest of locations, so it's a limited numbers one. If we were to do it with public,
you'd only do it in one group, kind of thing.
Yeah. We did do a charity investigation up there once before for a couple of folk, but yeah, it's a small one. You can't have too many folk in it. It just seems to. We've noticed everywhere that when we go in as a big group to anything, we don't get the same activities if we reduce our numbers down. So we try to operate now, even when we're doing events in smaller groups, so that hopefully the activity will be greater. So certainly Castle Fraser, I think we're planning to split into 3 teams, so to cover everything. Yeah. Mary's asking if we done Cameron Barracks or Fort George. No, we haven't. They're both difficult because they are basically Ministry of Defence sites. They're still in use as Ministry of Defence sites, so it's an added complication. We had somebody who was looking into Cameron Barracks for us, but it just didn't happen. And Fort George, again, we did speak to the museum there, but it seemed to be the military side that were kind of blocking it. So unfortunately, we haven't been able to do do either of them. I'd love to do them. I'd love to do them both. I think they're both amazing buildings, but unfortunately, yeah, they're, as I said, they're Ministry of Defence, so we can't at the moment get access to them. But obviously, Fort George will change. It's due to be sort of decommissioned as a military base, I think, for the next 10 years or so. So not sure what's going to happen to it then. Historic Scotland already run part of it, so it is open to the public, obviously, through the day. But even if you walk in there through the day, there's soldiers walking around with machine guns. So, you know, it is, as I said, it's an active base. So yeah. But yeah, we'd love to go. We'll go anywhere, really, if we're allowed. You know, it's one of these things that we try. We've reached out to another couple of locations recently, and so far radio silence. But we keep plugging away. We will be going back to Touchwood House at some point in the future to do another public investigation. They also do, more probably for the ladies, I'm not being sexist here, maybe the guys want to do hocus pocus parties as well. But Lindsay and Claire actually did a hocus pocus hen night at Touchwood House a couple of weeks ago, which involves various things like witches dance, broomstick racing or dancing, I don't know, spell casting, but it also some work with dowsing rods, with pendulums, and then a ghost hunt in a couple of the rooms. So if anyone is interested, just get in touch with Touchwood House. And as I said, I think I'm not sure the size of the group they need for it to go ahead, but it doesn't need to be a particularly big group. But if there is a group of ladies, and you get spooky cocktails, I shouldn't forget that, the spooky cocktails. So and they had a good laugh and a good night there a few weeks back doing that. So yeah, that's another possibility for folk as well. So yeah, lots happening. As I said, we're trying to get more places. We keep talking about we're trying to do more lives as well, so we will try and do lives. We may even try and do a live from one of the rooms in that farmhouse if we can get a signal. Obviously, we've got to be very discreet with regards to the location of it. So we don't give away the location as such. We're very lucky and fortunate that the owner is happy for us to go in and investigate it. So we've got some more work to do in that area and in a couple of the buildings around it as well, actually, where activity's been reported. So yeah, we're really looking forward to that. I'm not going to do the what's in the bag challenge tonight because it's a bit late. And nobody seems too bothered about it. So I'll keep that for the next time when we maybe give away another book and a pen prize and maybe a badge. We may also have some books and pens if the team don't take them all at Touchwood next time for sale as well. And you can buy, I'm just going to flog out everything now. So you can also buy our t-shirts online as well now. If anyone's interested, and again the profits from those t-shirts go to the running of the group. So all help gratefully received.
Petrol's expensive.
Yeah, it's it is extremely expensive. I mean, I know Lynn, it's recently you purchased a very expensive piece of equipment as well, and I've
this year.
Yeah, no more.
Yeah, I've bought another couple of K2s that should be arriving, so to keep our stock up for them for Castle Freezer as well. So yeah. But yeah, it's still getting used to it. It's a heavy thing, the SLS. Your arms get quite sore, so Colin's made a wee box for it to sit in, kind of thing, so it's a bit more stable. It was just when we do events and whatever, we split up. Sometimes the medium goes with one group and the other group doesn't have it. So it was just something else to add to our, just to have something different to look at. And the new ghost box is really loud, so you can hear it. So yeah, I got one.
You can hear it through walls. You can hear it through thick walls.
So it's quite good.
Yeah, it is quite good. But
You
no,
were
it's,
going.
yeah,
What was
yeah.
that?
My one's a bit quiet. My one's a bit quiet.
Even with the speaker, it wasn't very loud. So yeah, that's good. And yeah, you were still getting used to it. It's thrown up a couple of conundrums. We went into it with eyes wide open, basically. We can fixing patterns and things, but it's on one occasion up at the Foxmoss Woods that last time. When the group was speaking or saying something, and it had mapped her, and there was a little figure appeared in front of her. Yeah, so that was very interesting. And then, like I say, that the farmhouse we went to, there was in the long corridor a couple of figures. One appeared, and then another appeared, and one went away, and yeah, that was very, very interesting. So it's a new toy.
Yeah.
Cat balls are still quite good.
Cat balls, yeah, yeah. I don't care what the critics say about cat balls. I love cat balls. And yeah, the SLS camera, complete skeptic, but I have been really impressed with a couple of the hits that we've got on it so far when there's been kind of other evidence to back up what the camera's showing.
Yeah,
I have no idea what Lawrence is talking about, me jumping at Touchwood. So I'm not sure what that's all about.
you've forgotten. Yeah, and there was a
Yeah.
house as well. There was a stick figure appeared with two ladies, and it tended to be around them in different rooms as well. So that was interesting.
Yeah, and then we found out that one of the women, their was it the grandmother, had lived in the house. There
Oh,
was
did
some
it?
link. Yeah, there was some link. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, when the REM. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Did they work in that?
I can't remember, but they were involved in the house. They'd lived in the house. So yeah. My thing at Touchwood was the REM pod. So the REM pod never goes off, and it went off, and I had my back turned to it, and I goes, "What's that? What was that?"
Yeah.
And it's the only time the REM pod's ever gone off.
Yeah.
And yet, when we were out, when we investigated Rick McCallum, his REM pod was going off all the time.
Wow.
So I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I have no idea, but my REM pod just does not want to. As I said, the only time it has gone off is in one occasion in Touchwood. So yeah, it's yeah, I don't know. But yeah, the SLS camera is definitely a good piece of. I think it's actually quite a good piece of kit, and it's certainly a visual piece of kit, which is great for doing events. And it's, as I said, about evidence anyway. It's all about backing it up. So, you know, to me, getting a hit on multiple devices or with a medium and a device, you know, it really then gives you some solid, as far as I'm concerned, some solid evidence. When something on its own does it, you kind of, okay, you know. But if you've got two things going off, yeah, that's really cool. And on the subject of mediums, we've got Lindsay who does a great job for us. But you know, and though we actually went and we spoke to people about joining the group as mediums, we didn't actually get anyone else joining us. So you know. It would be lovely to have another medium on board, but we're not going to advertise again. If it happens, it happens. I know that some groups kind of frown away from using mediums, but you know, I've always been blunt about it. A medium is a tool. It's another tool in the kit, and you know, I think the things that Lindsay came up with at that farmhouse really.
And before we really started, we were in the kitchen, and she with a name, and what is it? It was Betsy and something else, and what was it? The other thing, she said Betsy and something else. I said, oh, Beatrice first, and then Betty. And I went, oh my gosh. And I'd just lost my cat that week as well. She's a Beatrice, Beatrice or Betty. And my great granny was Beatrice, but known as Betsy from time to time. So, yeah. So I was like, oh gosh, that's the first time I kind of ever had somebody come along to say something to me. So yeah, that was really nice. And she doesn't ken.
No.
And then I think anybody would have ever kenned her nickname.
Yeah. No,
Tell
it was fascinating, and that's the other thing. I mean, we touched on this before, is the amount of personal experiences people have when they come to our events, where spirit actually connected to them comes through, and it can get pretty emotional at times. And it's another interesting one that why is that happening? Are they there all around these people all the time, and it's just now they have a kind of a vehicle to come through? So yeah, absolutely fascinating. But yeah, I think we're about ready to kind of wrap up probably for tonight.
Yeah.
It's been good to talk about various subjects. It's great to see some new faces on tonight as well, and some old faces, of course. So yeah, keep up with the page. As say, guys, we post events on a regular basis. I will try and do some more lives if I'm out and about and in interesting places. We've got a few interesting graveyards in Inverness and a few other bits and pieces. So unfortunately, the other problem that we have is mobile signal in the Highlands is at times not too good. But we will try and do it. Lynette says, really enjoyed. Thanks. It's been brilliant. Yeah, thank you so much. Lawrence is saying, good evening, everybody. Nicola, thank you both. Really interesting chat. Yeah, Nicola, I think we'll need to get you on with us at some point, Nicola. I think that's the other thing. We're going to get guys on from other groups, so folk don't have to keep listening to us. It'll be really interesting. So I think we'll try and get some more on. Thank you for that. Yeah, I'm not even going to try and say that, Fiona. I'll just say good night. From me. Kathy says thank you as well. So yeah, it's been really good. Thanks for all your inputs tonight. Really interesting night. Stay safe, guys, and as I say, we'll see you all soon. Until then, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.